Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about the basics of gas chromatography. Now, before we move on to the details, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Medha Joshi, Assistant Professor in V.S. Patel College of Arts and Science, Billimura. We are affiliated to VNSU, Surat. Friends, the basic motive behind making you aware with gas chromatography is nowadays it has become basic need in every industry as well as every area of research. It is one of the most important tool that industry and researcher are using. So now, without wasting the time, let us begin with our very important topic, that is gas chromatography. In gas chromatography, there are some basic conditions when you are working with GC. The short form of gas chromatography is GC. So from here we will use the word GC. What are these basic conditions? There are three basic conditions: sample, mobile phase and phase. Sample should be volatile and thermally stable in GC. Mobile phase is gaseous in nature, where the stationary phase is has the high boiling or melting point. Now we will see the definition of gas chromatography. Gas chromatography is a technique employed to separate and analyze compounds that can be vaporized without decomposition via interaction with gas mobile phase and stationary phase. The nature of stationary phase is decide the fate of classifying gas chromatography into two forms. First one is gas solid chromatography, second one is gas liquid chromatography. The two key mechanisms responsible for separation of components in a mixture includes adsorption and partition. The mobile phase in gas in both chromatography, where the stationary phase is solid or liquid coated on solid. Now, the principle of gas chromatography is it exploits the differences in partition coefficients of volatile sample between mobile gaseous phase and stationary liquid phase as the samples passes through the column in case of gas liquid chromatography. In case of gas solid chromatography, the stationary phase is replaced by solid surface and hence exploitation of components occurs via adsorption. In general, gas liquid chromatography is referred as gas chromatography. So first we will see the introduction of or history of gas chromatography. The Archer John Porter Martin is known as the father of gas chromatography, who shared the Nobel Prize in 1952 with the Siemens for inventing partition chromatography. The Martin was the first to develop first gas liquid chromatograph. So these two are the father of gas chromatography. Now we will see the overview of gas liquid chromatography. Based on the principle of partition coefficient, the GLC refers where the gas is mobile phase and liquid as stationary phase. The non-volatile liquid is coated on inert solid supports as a thin layer along with inner walls of the columns. The solid supports help to increase the surface area for the liquid to interact with the sample, and the liquid layer has the low volatility and high decomposition temperature. The solid supports used in the GLC are glass powder, diatomaceous earth, powder Teflon, crushed fire bricks and carbon black, where the liquid which are coated on inert solid supports are polyethylene glycol, dimethyl silicon, diethylene glycol succinate. When people say GC, they generally referred to gas liquid chromatography. Now we will see the overview of gas solid chromatography. Here in gas solid chromatography, the mobile phase is gas and the stationary phase is solid. Based on the principle of physical adsorption, GSC referred gas as mobile phase and solid as stationary phase. Solid porous powder as a thin layer along the inner wall of column is filled as a stationary phase. So, there are some examples of the adsorbents used in the gas solid chromatography. They are inorganic oxides, which are silica gel, alumina and selenol. The second one is carbon adsorbents, which are graphitides, carbon black, non-specific adsorbent dispersion interactions, surface oxygen, which has polar sites, strong specific interaction with polar compounds. Third one are molecular sieves. They are tunnel-like pore structure. They are zeolite of alkali metal aluminosilicates. The retention based on molecular size. The separation of gases and low molecular weight hydrocarbons. Fourth one are porous organic polymers. They are different monomers and cross-linking reagents delivering large surface area and pore size that can be used in GSA. Here the surface is relatively inert and polar compounds face difficulty in separation. The small pore diameter beads used for gas separation and large pore diameter beads used for hydrocarbon separation. Now, why GLC is most advantageous than GSC? Because it has shorter time analysis, the better resolution between peaks, qualitative and quantitative analysis can be done by this, large concentration range of samples can be evaluated in by GLC, wide range of stationary phases available in GLC. Now, there are some limitations of GC. They are the analyte must be volatile in GC. The volatility of organic compound over 500 gram per mole is rare, and the high temperature is possible to result into volatility with a concern regarding decomposition. Remember this slide very well. These are the important points when it comes to GC. Mobile phase are nitrogen, helium and hydrogen. From these three, anyone can be used as carrier gas in GC. The stationary phase are the microscopic layer of liquid on inner wall of column. They are polyethylene glycol dimethyl silicon. The solid supports which are used are glass powder, diatomaceous earth, powdered Teflon. The basic principle behind gas-liquid chromatography is that it exploits the differences in partition coefficient of volatilized sample between mobile gaseous phase and stationary liquid phase as the sample passes through the column. Now we will understand the term partition coefficient. Remember that the more of partition coefficient, the more the sample is retained on the column, that is on the stationary phase. The measurement of affinity of analyte in stationary phase is derived by Kc is equal to Cs by Cm, where Cs is the concentration of analyte in the stationary phase, while Cm is the concentration of analyte in the mobile phase. Partition coefficients are also sometimes known as the distribution coefficient. So partition coefficient is high, it means your sample is in the stationary phase, and when the partition coefficient is low, then your sample is in mobile phase. Now the second term is retention factor. The retention factor K is sometimes called as capacity factor, is used to describe the migration rate of an analyte onto a column. Here, if the K value is high, then the sample is in stationary phase, because here K is equal to Tr minus Tm divided by Tm, where Tr is the retention time of analyte and Tm is the time taken for mobile gaseous phase to pass through the column. And if the K value is high, then the sample is in stationary phase, and if sample is in stationary phase, it will go out slowly. That means the retention time taken by that solute is high. Lower the value of K means the sample is less in stationary phase, it will go out quickly. Now we'll see the instrumentation of gas chromatography. Here it has 7 main parts. First main part is carrier gas. Second is the flow regulators and flow meters. Then injection devices. Then column, the temperature control, the detector, and recorders and integrators. We will go in detail of all these parts of instrument. The first part is carrier gas. Now, the carrier gas is the mobile phase in GC. What are the requirements of a carrier gas? Carrier gas है वो कैसा होना चाहिए? तो it should be inertness, means it should be inert. It cannot react with the any instrument components. It should be suitable for the detector and other material which are used in the instrument. It should be highly pure. It should be easily available, and it should be cheap and should not cause the risk of fire, and it should give best column performance. Now, hydrogen, helium or nitrogen can be used as the carrier gas. There are 3 gases shown here with their properties. Hydrogen has better thermal conductivity, but it reacts with unsaturated compounds and it is flammable. Second one is helium, which has excellent thermal conductivity and it is expensive. Third one is nitrogen, which has reduced sensitivity and it is inexpensive. Then injectors. Septum type injectors are the most common injectors. These are composed of a glass tube where vaporization of sample take place. The sample is introduced into the injector through a self-sealing silicone rubber septum. The carrier gas flows through the injector carrying vaporized solutes. The temperature of the injector should be adjusted so that flash vaporization of all solute occurs. If the temperature of the injector is not high enough, the band broadening will take place. There are some images of the injectors and the septums. Now, the column O1. The samples of gas chromatography must be converted into vapor state. So, the injector connections, column and detector connections are all inside the O1. The range of the O1 is 40 to 400 degrees centigrade. The thermal control because of rapid heating and cooling are used. Now, the operation of O1. If the experiment will examine at single temperature, it is isothermal operation. The steady temperature throughout the analysis and it is used in early days of chromatography. But now temperature controlled operations are there. So you can design an experiment in such a way that you can change the temperature during the experiment depending upon your samples. Now, the next part is column, the most important component of gas chromatography. Here, 2 types of columns are used in GC, the capillary column and packed column. The capillary columns are in micro size and it has stationary phase in its inner walls, where the length of this capillary column is 50 to 75 meters. Due to this long run of the column, the separation becomes efficient, while the packed column is in 1 to 5 meter long and 1 to 5 millimeter diameter. The capillary columns are increased separation efficiency and ability to work at low temperature, while in packed column the improper solution resolution and pressure drop issues. The better separation in same time or same separation in shorter time with 10 times faster results. These are some of the image of the columns. There are two types of column in capillary. One is wall coated capillary column and second one is support coated capillary column. In wall coated capillary column, the liquid is directly coated on the inner surface of the column, while in support coated capillary column, first the support particles are used and then the liquid is coated on these particles. They all has diameter of 150 to 400 micrometer. While the packed column are of this type, the solid material is packed in the column and the liquid material is coated on these solid materials. Now the detectors. The detectors are the heart of the apparatus. The requirement of an ideal detector are it has applicability to wide range of samples and it has rapid response with high sensitivity and linearity. The response should be unaffected by the temperature and the flow rate. It is non-destructive, simple and inexpensive. Now we'll see the first detector, which is thermal conductivity detector. The other name of TCD is catharometer or hot wire detector. The rate of loss of heat from the hot body depends on the thermal conductivity of surrounding gas, which is depend on composition of substance. The measure the changes of thermal conductivity due to the sample. The sample can be taken in the microgram. When the separated compound elutes from the column, the thermal conductivity of the mixture of carrier gas and compound gas is lower. The filament in the sample column becomes hotter than the control column. The imbalance between control and sample filament temperature is measured by a simple gadget and a signal is recorded. Here in first figure, a heated filament is cooled by the flow of carrier gas. When the carrier gas is contaminated by the sample, the cooling effect of the gas changes, which generate the signal. Here you can see in the figure, in first figure only the carrier gas is flow, then the filament temperature is low, while with the sample with the carrier gas, the difference in cooling is used to generate the detector signal. Here helium or hydrogen are mostly used as carrier gas because of high thermal conductivity. Here in TCD, first turn on the carrier gas and then filament. Similarly, first turn off the current and then the carrier gas. Otherwise, the filament will damage, which is very costly. Here some of the value of relative thermal conductivity. The advantages of catharometer is the linearity is good. It is applicable to most of the compounds. It is non-destructive and simple and expensive. But the disadvantage of this detector is it has low sensitivity and affected by fluctuations in temperature and flow rate. Now the second detector, which is flame ionization detector. Most of the organic compounds are ionized at higher temperature. it produces ions and electron which can conduct electricity. It is destructive detector. The effluent from the column is mixed with hydrogen and air and then ignited. Now, as shown in the column effluent is mixed with the H2 gas and air for ignition. The potential of few hundred volts is applied to the metal jet. The collector electrode is placed above the flame. When column effluent contains only carrier gas, small amount of current is produced. When sample component enters to the flame, they ionized and current observed which can be received by detector and shows a peak. The advantages of this detector are a few microgram quantity of sample can be detected by this detector. It has stable response and it responds most of the organic compounds. But one disadvantage of this detector is it destroys the sample. Now, third detector is electron capture detector. Here, in electron capture detector, when beta particle produced from radioactive source, it interacts with carrier gas. This beta particle ionizes the carrier gas and because of this high current is produced. When the sample which has attraction for electron enter into the detector, some electrons which are emitted from carrier gas are captured by the compound. Therefore, the decrease in current is formed. In this figure, the detector contains radioactive beta particle source which is Ni nickel 63, a cathode and a anode. A mixture of CH4 and nitrogen or argon is used as the carrier gas. The advantage of this detector is it has high sensitivity, and disadvantage is it is used only for the compounds which has electron affinity. Now, the last point of our presentation is the applications of GC. There are so many applications where GC is used. In that, the first one is applications in pharmaceuticals. To provide safe and effective drugs, GC can be used. The analysis of residual solvent in both raw material and finished products can be analyzed by GC. Drug assays, quality control and analysis of drug products can be done by GC. The purity and impurity profiling also done. It has the application in environmental analysis. The monitoring of ambient air and stack emissions are done by GC, and remaining pesticides in agricultural produce, soil, fruits, vegetables, drinking water. Also, identification of unknown organic compound in hazardous waste dumps, pollution studies and other kind of environmental analysis can be done by GC. It is used in forensic science, crime scene testing and arson investigation. In forensic pathology, fluids and compounds present in human body which are responsible for death can be analyzed, and also drug abuse also can be determined by this technique. The blood and fiber samples are tested. The detection of flammable liquid on the site of fire accident can also be measured. Blood alcohol test and analysis and prohibited drug analysis can be done by this technique. It can be used in petrochemicals. The monitoring of petroleum refining and finished products analysis. Geochemical applications are the mapping of oil reservoirs and tracing of reservoirs. The natural gas analysis, gasoline characterization and fraction quantitation also done by this technique. Further miscellaneous applications are ammonia plants, methanol plant, power generation plant. The qualitative and quantitative analysis of the different oxides can be done by this technique. Thank you.